Hello everyone, my name is Ronald Simmer and welcome to my introduction video to my Vampiric Federation story. So I do kind of want to be here for a little bit. We're going to kind of stare at Emperor Abel for a little bit. That is his name. His name is Abel. But we are definitely going to stare at him for just a little bit because I do want to give you guys the backstory on him. In this story, the vampires are not a tight-knit race. Many things divided them, such as wars, backstabbing, schemes, and their ingrained distrust. There were four realms where vampires thrived, and to much of the known world, they were feared. For centuries, humans have tried to eradicate their population, killing vampires who have lived for thousands of years. More commonly, vampires used to be born, but as their race started dwindling, some red-blooded vampires evolved to create newborns, more commonly and negatively known as spawn. Vampire kings would use these spawn to create armies and sometimes expand their race. King Vladislaus was the head of this spawn movement. Abel and his dark priest saw the flaws in these ways, seeing that even after increasing their numbers with newborns, humans would still cut them down too. Abel wanted structure and he wanted unification within the vampire race. With the advice of Hades, his dark priest, Abel left Estelle with an army mixture of human and vampire, 70,000 strong. He would declare war on each vampiric country, urging them to unite under one emperor. He went after the smallest kingdom first, Nevia. He decimated their army, weakening King Kalmar. Kalmar himself thought he would be executed, but he was surprised when Abel gave him mercy and offered him a place in his new empire, not as a king, but as a prince. Kalmar would accept and would become the first princely state under the Federation. It wouldn't take long before the emperor would take Verona, known to be the largest vampiric country. King Agonis put up a fight. He was no match for the combined forces of Estelle and Nevia. He was offered the same terms as Kalmar upon his defeat, and he too was surprised when Abel showed mercy instead of death, a rare thing amongst vampires. Nevertheless, Agonis would join the Federation not as a king, but a prince. Lastly, Abel would take his army to Hasaro. Similar to Nevia, they weren't really big, but they were the richest kingdom. Even though Vlad had his spawn army, when he saw Abel's, he realized this was no war he could win. Vladislaus would do a parley, meeting with Abel and bending the knee to his new emperor. Vladislaus lost the title of king but became a prince. He was smarter than the rest of his fellow princes. He wasn't going to destroy an army only to lose it in the end. He saved his breath, making him the strongest prince within the Federation. And now Abel had every realm under his yoke. He was crowned emperor before his vassals, princes, and dukes alike. He talked of unification and spoke of sticking together. Abel believed that if they were united, the humans would have a harder time wiping them out. Unification meant strength and protection. They were vampires, superior beings, not weakling humans. Abel believed their only weakness was isolation, and now they communed. After 2 years of unity, the Dark Priest thinks it's high time the Emperor finds a wife. The Emperor needs heirs, sons to be specific, and once a prince is born, the realm will be sated. Emperor Abel has decided to throw a ball. There he will decide who will become his empress. The chosen will get to have the first and only dance with the emperor. So guys, that is essentially what is going on within this new formed empire. Now we did have right here Vladislaus. Let's get him right back over here. I don't know what throwing up. Why is he throwing up? Maybe because he's around strangers. I don't really know. But yes, we are in this office within the king's chamber. So this is okay, so this is basically the king's chambers right here. It's, you know, after you come upstairs. We're gonna do a house tour, but I just kind of want to get the story underway here. Emperor Abel, he has two advisors, guys. He has his advisors. He basically, I haven't gotten our calendar set up, but let me actually get rid of these random holidays here. But basically every season, similar to fantasy-esque challenges. Um, we will host a ball on the second week of each season, and we will determine who will be the new counselors. So the first counselors, the first advisors of this season, of the winter season, of course, is King, not King Vladislaus because he's no longer a king, but Prince Vladislaus and Lord Saris Lightwing. So guys, Lord Saris, he is um not a duke. He is the brother to a duke. And I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you all of the ranks that we have. Of course, the highest rank is, of course, an emperor. But right after an emperor, as of course the empress, and then there would be the princes and his princess consorts. So, of course, princes are like the previous kings who ruled over these kingdoms. They are still rulers of these kingdoms, but they no longer are considered kings, but princes. So they are now principalities. So Vladislaus has a wife, Lilith, guys, who is technically a spawn. So we're gonna get into Vladislaus' backstory in the future, not probably in this introduction, but he does have his wife, the Princess Lilith, who he recently married. A while back, like maybe 2 years, 3 years before the Federation formed. So essentially, after we have the princes and the princess consorts, we also have our, of course, our imperial children, the imperial princes and princesses, and then of course the princes and princesses of, uh, the ruling families, and then of course we have dukes and duchesses, which are under the emperors and the princes. And after the dukes and duchesses, we have ladies and lords, which tend to be the daughters of dukes and duchesses or the brothers and sisters of dukes and duchesses. And then, of course, the lowest rank of them all are commoners. So that is basically all of our ranks. I hope you guys got a gist of what's going on here. So just like our my Covenant Legacy challenge, and even any Amazon challenge that has been formed, there usually is a group of women who counsel their queen on things that that they may need help with within their queendoms. And we always have a set of our ladies living in a household. I didn't want to do I didn't want to do that similar style exactly, but I did feel like the emperor needed close advisors, so I decided to do two that will live in the castle with him. So Vladislaus, he does have a home of his own, and he may get to go back to it once there's a new ball. These advisors are not permanent. But I did go ahead and do something off camera where I did host a ball privately, and with that we decided, well, Abel decided that he would make Vladislaus, the Prince of Hasaro, one of his advisors, and he would make Lord Saris here a advisor as well. Because, guys, it's so crazy that drama's already happening. But Saris is the brother to Duke, where is he? Duke Stefan Lightwing. So Stephen Lightwing is a direct vassal to King, not to King Abel, but to Emperor Abel in Ravenwood, technically Estelle. So the Duke answers to the Emperor, not to Vladislaus or to Kalmar or even to Agonis. He directly answers to King Abel, because each kingdom, each principality, all of them, each of them have two nobles of their own. And Abel, he has two nobles of his own. And he, when I had the ball, I invited every male, and Saris is of course the brother to the Duke. And surprisingly, guys, when they had kind of flirted at the party a little bit, but guys, like, I'm gonna say probably early, like in the middle of the night around 12 a.m., Saris, guys, he's very much romantic. He just came up to the Emperor and started flirting with him, and I allowed it to happen because it was interesting. I just wanted to see what happened. And then out of nowhere, the two of them started embracing each other. They haven't had a first kiss or anything, but they romanced enough to have a whole romance bar of 25, which I was so gagged by. But yeah, I really found that interesting because Emperor Abel is about to host a ball to determine his wife, who will be his next empress, but he's already kind of getting entangled with one of his advisors, who is a male. So, yeah, that was unplanned, but it does make for an interesting story. That Emperor Abel is kind of dillying and dallying with one of his advisors. Um, which could make other ladies, or not, this is not my covenant legacy, this could make other lords be look at him a little sideways, that he's like taking a lover, and they're not lovers yet. They may not be, and they may not ever be lovers, but it may start turning heads if this relationship does become public. But right now, Emperor Abel is right now talking to both of his advisors as they're discussing what is to come later tonight at the ball. So I am going to go. Oh, sorry, guys. I am going to go ahead and go to my rules so I can go ahead and show you guys. But we're going to go ahead and let the Emperor rest. Um, Along with his new advisors here, and by the time I get done with the rules, we're gonna come back and we're going to determine who is going to be the emperor's empress. We're gonna host that ball, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna discuss like the possibilities that this series might come to be. So, um, well, before I do go, I do want to go ahead and show you guys the emperor's home. So this is Emperor Abel's palace, and I think is really nice. I got it off the gallery. So here we are. This is called the Old English Manor. I got it off the gallery. As you guys can see, it's a very beautiful castle. I don't even have to do too much redecorating because a lot of them didn't. This castle doesn't have any like electronics in it, like gaming consoles or TVs or anything. Which was very thankful because that would have took me a very long time to get together. I'm still gonna have to renovate certain things with this castle, because I don't really like using like electric lights when I play in like Victorian-esque medieval areas. I like to use candles, so I'm probably gonna have to go back and revamp a lot of that over time. Not this time, but hey, that's what we're gonna have to do. But this was made by Panda Queen 3000. If you guys want to get this castle or this palace off the gallery, um, I really loved the way it looked. It was gorgeous, and I thought it was very perfect for this challenge. Considering this is not it's more of a modern time, I do feel. So everything is not as in other words, rustic or dirty, is more polished and put together. But I still don't want any electric lights around. I'm going to probably have to edit that as time goes on. Like right here, this is going to get taken out. So certain things are going to get moved around and stuff like that. Um, Now the advisors, they don't have rooms of their own. This is where Lord Saris and Prince Vladislav sleep. I am gonna probably decorate it to make it feel more regal for them because Vladislav is a prince, so he deserves to be in some type of comfort. But if you guys wanted to see, this is how Vladislav look. He looks a lot different from King Vlad in my Covenant Legacy challenge. He is very different in this. I kept his same essence, unlike I did the unlike what I did in the Covenant Legacy challenge. He kind of looks a lot different from what he originally looked like, but I wanted to keep an essence of the original Vlad in him, but I didn't want him to look too monstrous. So I made him look handsome enough, and I gave him his big nose, but I decreased it a little bit, and he had white hair, so I let him keep white hair, but instead of making it gray, I just made it actually white this time, so it can pass on to children. My plan and what I think I'm going to end up doing is, instead of like with the Royal Witch Kingdoms challenge, that is heavy. This challenge is heavily inspired by Fantasy esque, by the way. But unlike the apart from the Royal Witch Kingdoms challenge, Fantasy asked when she was doing that challenge, she would hop between each kingdom and each noble family and each royal family. Instead of doing that, I think I will hop between each kingdom, but instead of doing each noble family, I will just hop to the royal family. So basically, Emperor Abel, Prince Vladislaus, Prince Agonis, and Prince Kalmar will all have chances to basically be integral to the story. Um, and we will just have to get more information about the noble families um, through them, basically, through their balls that they may host and stuff like that. We may be able to talk about those types of things. Or, for example, if a duke got on the advisor role, we may get into more details about the duke's family. Or, for example, in this time, Lord Sarris's case, he is his brother to a duke, so we might, look more into the Light Wing family and see how they are. But we will mostly focus on the royal families, and they will have a consecutive 3 days each time I jump over to them. Unless they're pregnant, if they end up getting pregnant, then I will stay with them until their pregnancy ends, and then we will hop over to the next family. So anyway, guys, I am gonna go to the rules, and I'm hoping that I won't be there too long, but we're just gonna have to see. Okay, guys, so here we are. I'm gonna keep the rules I'm gonna try to keep them as simple as possible for me so that I won't go insane. I'm Unlike I'm doing with my Covenant Legacy challenge, I won't have influence points with this. Because it's gonna be a lot for me to keep up with, especially if I'm going to be focusing on my Covenant Legacy challenge. I don't want to have two coinciding, influential systems, um, combating with each other. That's gonna be too much on my plate. But I do want to go over the rules with you guys. So the first rule is that you're going to start with a male vampire. Of course, he will be your emperor. Apart from your emperor, you will make 3 other male rulers and place them in separate worlds apart from your emperor. In each realm, kingdom create 2 noble families under your ruling houses. You must have 10 generations. This is also a male-dominated society. You must have 2 counselors that live within your imperial house. These advisors can come from any house within your empire in any rank. Each weather season, you will pick another pair of advisors by hosting a ball. Whoever the emperor gains the most friendship with becomes his new same advisors. And of course, there will be 2 advisors, 1 and 2. Okay, now we go on to succession claims. Oh, I need to add this to it. Succession isn't as simple as it may seem. In this challenge, the goal is to have sons. When it comes to ruling families, you don't just inherit the throne because you're the eldest. You must fight for your claim. Using a vampire spar, each prince will fight their father in order from eldest to youngest. Whoever wins against the emperor slash prince first becomes new emperor slash prince. Sons of the emperor aren't the only ones who can challenge him for the crown. Sons of the imperial princesses also have a chance. If all the emperor's sons fail in challenging their father, instead of looping back to the eldest son, the loop will include his nephews, starting with the elder princess's sons. So basically, if there is an so let's just say Emperor Abel ends up having sons, right? And at this time, he may not have any nephews or anything or grandchildren because the vampires have children within their generation. So Emperor Abel has some sons, and then he has like at least 2 daughters. When his sons end up becoming emperor, whichever one may become emperor, if his sisters end up marrying outside of the royal family, their children, who may be sons, may be able to basically take the throne. If the current emperor, um, his sons fell in taking the throne, so it'll basically go from his sons to his elder sister's sons to the next basically sister. So if there's 2 sisters and one is older than the other, her children come over her sister's children first. But then if her sons fell, it'll go right back to the emperor's sons. So this could cause a dynasty change, which makes the imperial house more vulnerable when their daughters marry out. These same rules apply to other families, emperor slash princes, not nobles. So nobles, regardless, their eldest child, if it's a male, will inherit their title as duke. But princes and emperors, their children must challenge them for basically their titles. Childbirth, fertility, marriage, and sickness. Vampires aren't the most fertile creatures, and having children is much more difficult. Whenever babies are born, you must roll each time to see whether or not the child will survive. Vampires are strong, but they are much more vulnerable as infants. Using a 20-sided die, 5, 10, 15, 20, your sim dies. So it is very much a high chance that the child could die once it's born. And I think that it make for an interesting story, and it might get annoying after a while, but I think that it'll very much make it juicy, because what if the emperor has a son and then he ends up dying, and so he has to try again and have another kid. So it does add for story. It does add like a lot of flavor to the story, and I'm excited to basically use this inside the story, but I'm also sad that a child might end up passing away. Childbirth can also be interesting. Vampires don't normally die from childbirth and are rare. However, it is possible. So using a 20-sided die, you will if you roll a 10, your sim dies. So basically, it's less of a chance that your basically mother will die from childbirth. Is more higher that the infant might die. But because vampires are strong, they don't succumb to those types of things more often like humans do. Same thing with sickness. It isn't common for vampires to die from it, but it is possible. And they have the same basically rules apply when there is childbirth involved. So it is less common, but it is possible. So rolling a 10, if you roll a 10, you basically die from your sickness. But it is more rarer than basically a child dying, as in, a child dying from just random things. So, as you guys can see from the fighting for the crown and stuff like that, is highly inspired by the Vampire Amazon challenge made by Fantasy-esque and the Fire tribute as well. In this world, vampires are immortal, but with this new federation forming with Council of the Dark Priests, the Emperor believes at a certain point vampires must rest. In their culture, they worship the Dark One, the Grim Reaper, a god and reaper of souls. They believe the best offerings to their god is death. When the next emperor ascends to the throne, the emperor and his fellow princes and nobles will all join the tribute. There, they will walk into the sun, giving their souls to the Dark One, uh, an offering that will surely protect the next generation. The only people who are protected from the tribute are ones who did not have children, or who have not had children. They must live a bit longer. They may live a bit longer. I'm sorry, I'm confusing my own words here. And then there is going to be a particular thing that I am still working on, guys, is vampire hunters. I do want the vampire hunters to be integral to the story, because this is the reason why they have formed this federation, and why basically Abel has become a conqueror and basically united all of the vampire countries. They are the reason. So I do want this to become like a dangerous thing that happens with vampires, but I'm not going to do too much on it, because I did want to basically show you guys what I've been working on and how I'm going to play it. But my idea is basically something with dealing with patrols, basically sending somebody out. We're gonna touch upon it, and when the time does come, because I do have it in my head on when I want it to happen. I will basically ingrain it within the story. So we're gonna introduce it into the story in some point, and by that time, I'm gonna have like a detailed leisure on vampire hunters and how it coincides with the story. So that is the rules that I have so far. I'm sure as I go on, I might add some more stuff to it. That's exactly what I do with the Covenant Legacy Challenge. But as you guys can see, it is a lot smaller than my Covenant Legacy Challenge, which I do prefer for the time being. If I am going to make this a challenge, a channel regular, I want it to be much more easygoing for me, because I am very passionate about my Covenant Legacy Challenge, and I do not want to stop playing that. So I gotta make, if I'm gonna make another series, I have to make it as simple as possible for myself. So anyway, guys, I will see you all at the ball. Okay, guys, so I've decided to go ahead and throw the ball. It's like 7 p.m. at night right now. We have all of our not all of our we have all of the eligible ladies here that are unmarried at the ball. I do want to go ahead and introduce you guys to who is who. So I'm going to start off with first Vladislaus' daughter. So Vladislaus had a daughter from a previous marriage. We don't know who the woman is, but this is his previous. This is his daughter, Victoria. Let me actually go ahead and turn on headline effects. So headline effects on. So this is his daughter, Victoria Strahd, Princess Victoria. So she of course, is his daughter, and I'm pretty sure Vlad here probably will want his daughter to become the empress, as he is an advisor, which will probably make him a 10 times more powerful if his daughter were to become the empress to the emperor. And it would be make sense considering Vlad is very powerful. He's the richest man within the kingdom. You know, each princess has a reason as to why they should get married to the emperor. But I feel like Vlad, as an advisor, he probably have more of a reason as to why he should marry Victoria. So, of course, he this is his daughter, and he is married to, of course, his wife, the princess consort Lilith. And then over here we have Princess Katerina Cardenas, Cardenas, I meant, and she is a princess due to the fact that her and her brother, she has a brother who is Prince Kalmar, of course, but she is a princess, and I would say the reason why I feel like maybe they should get married, is because not because, unlike with Vlad here, she's Victoria is she comes from a very rich family. Katerina comes from a family I feel like would be more loyal to him. The Cardenases were the first principality state under the Federation, which I feel like makes them much more loyal than the other princely states. And marrying Katerina could, you know, marrying Princess Katerina could definitely like solidify his alliance with the Cardenases within the kingdom of Nevia. And then, of course, we over here have the princess Anya Drahar. She is married to, she's not married, but she is the brother to Prince Agonis Drahar. And her sister is the Duchess Irene Lightwing. So she's married to Lord Stefan. Her sister is a princess, but she married Emperor um, one of Emperor Abel's vassals, which is Duke Stefan. Now, I would say that he should marry Anya due to the fact that Anya comes from the biggest kingdom within the Federation, and they have lots of values that, um, the prince could use. So basically, the Drahars are rich in their own way and would prove very useful allies. Now, if you were to marry like a lady, unlike the princesses here, they I would say that he's probably not trying to give power to basically the princess. So, marrying a princess would definitely elevate one of the princesses in power princes in power. So definitely marrying Vlad's daughter would elevate him. Marrying Katerina's brother would marrying Katerina would elevate her brother, and marrying Anya would definitely elevate Aganis. And the same thing goes for these ladies here, but I feel like the reason why he would marry them is because they don't have as much power as the princes do, which would make it very hard for them to maybe overthrow him. So maybe he's trying to marry families that are going to basically rely on him essentially. So that's my idea as to why he would marry one of these ladies here. So I guess we can start off with who these ladies are. I'm gonna go ahead and play the game as the things are happening here. But here we have Lady Evelyn Ravengard, who is married to Lord, not Lord, but Duke, not even married. Oh my god, my brain. She is the brother to Duke Joel Ravengard, who I'm sure is under the kingdom of Drahar. If I'm mistake, if we'll go over that in due time. If I continue this series on YouTube, we'll go over that in due time. And we have here Lady Anarissa Barone, who is the daughter to Duke Anthony Barone. I think he's definitely under the Drahars. So not the Drahars, but the Cardenases. So she is definitely in the kingdom of Nevia, I feel. She's from the kingdom of Nevia. Then we have, of course, the Valar sisters. They're twins, Lady Rohan and Lady Rhonda. They uh are the daughters, I'm pretty sure, of Lord Rhys Valar. Now, I'm pretty sure the Valar family is under the Dreyhearts, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Of course, I will probably go over that as the episodes progress if I continue this as a series. But Rohan and Rhonda are sisters, and their father is Duke Rhys. And then we have Miss Serena Lightwing here. She is the daughter, no, the brother to Lord Stefan, Duke Stefan Lightwing, and Lord Cerys Lightwing. So she is sisters to Lord Cerys here, which would be very interesting if she ended up becoming the Empress, considering that Lord Cerys and the Emperor are low-key getting involved in a romantic relationship. So that would be something serious. But she is this is his sister. But it also kind of would elevate Lord Cerys if his sister ended up becoming Empress, and the Duke, of course. So that is essentially who our ladies are at this party. I'm excited to see who the Emperor will pick. At the end of the ball, we will make sure that he dances with one of these ladies. It'll be interesting to see which ones end up becoming the Empress. Very, very interesting. Oh, actually, before I continue this anymore, guys, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and calculate their relationships right now before I continue, so that I know who our Duke or our Emperor, like his relationship starting is with them, and then probably by maybe 6 a.m. in the morning is when I'm going to actually decide who is going to be Emperor Abel's Empress. So I'm gonna cut right here, guys, and I'm gonna calculate their points, and then I'll come back and then we'll finish the party. And I guess while the party is going on, because it's gonna be on for a very long time, I can go ahead and give you guys a tour of the castle. And oh my god, guys, one person that I did almost forget to go over, I literally forgot to invite her to the party. I didn't forget it, but I didn't realize she wasn't here actually. Um, I was looking for her. I thought she was here, but then I went over my Sims and I was like, wait, where is Asara? But this is a Lady Asara Darkmoon. She is the daughter to Duke Abelgor Darkmoon. He is, I'm pretty sure, in the kingdom of Estelle. So this is she lives in this particular kingdom that Abel lives in. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. And this is who she is. I think she's a very pretty sim, but it'll be interesting basically if our Emperor ends up picking her as his wife as well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start the tour of the castle. So right here, guys, is when you first walk inside the palace here, and this is the throne room. This is Emperor Abel's throne right here. So this is where he basically sits and meets his ladies, and lords. And yeah, this is the throne room. Um, I decorated it very little. I'm hoping that I will add more stuff in it as it goes on, but this is how it looks. I love the way it turned out. I love the little hood over the throne. Right here we have like a little hallway. Um, and this is a dining room of the castle. This is another like little sitting area of the castle, which I think is really nice. Then there is another sitting room of the castle, a bar. There's a lot of like just miscellaneous rooms around. Um, if you go through this hallway right here, there is like this back room where there is a sitting area again. So there's like a lot of big living rooms in this castle. Of course, as you guys know, this is the ballroom slash living area. I might make this into a full ballroom, to be honest, because there's a lot of living rooms around, and I need a room that is specifically for balls. So this might actually end up becoming a full-on ballroom, which will be fun. Then over here, coming through this door is a library, and a office room. So this is the office, and it is also a bit of a bathroom here. So I think that is fun and dandy. There is, she likes discussing hobbies, sure. There is like another level to this castle, which I guess I can go ahead and come down here to show you guys. But Of course, there is this pool. Well, this beautiful area. It's not a pool, but it's like more of a fountain area. There is some stables for to have future horses here, which I think would be interesting and fun. I'm definitely gonna probably use horses in this playthrough because I'm not gonna be so focused on more so the story, but more so the gameplay of this challenge. I think it'll be more fun to play around with the horses. Um, then over here is like a garden area of the castle, which is not greatly lit up, but you know it looks pretty. Another little patio area. There is a few rooms down here, and I think that is nice. And there's a kitchen here. This is where the kitchen is. It's downstairs. Um, a bathroom. I think on this side is a pool area. So we have a pool on this side, another living area. This is a very greatly decorated castle, and I love the way it turned out. Another gaming room, I would say. And then down here in the basement area is basically a dungeon that I didn't create, but it's really nice. I like the way this turned out. Now going up to the second floor here, it is like an open area right above the throne room, but coming straight through these doors is where our advisors sleep at. On this side, I do believe, well, I know it is, but this is where our emperor sleeps. So he has a very big quarters. He has a living room within his own chambers. He has his own bathroom. He has his own chambers here, his own balcony looking over the ballroom, which I thought was so cool. And this is also a balcony here for him to use. He has a pipe organ, a library of his own, and another balcony looking over the library. So he has a lot of places where he can see things. Another bathroom, and an office within his chambers. So I thought this side of the chambers were very much fitting for an emperor, and so I kept it this way. I might change a few things around as time goes on, but that is essentially what we have there. And right here, I feel, and I will make the empress's chamber. So this is where our empress will sleep. She has a big living room. Um, oh, there's a place to get up to her chambers through this way. But then there is this also living area too, which I think is really cool. A bathroom for her. And this is also going to be her bed chamber. So I think this one really fit the future empress here. And I really thought this was really cool. Oh, it looks like a lot of people. He's really getting close with Lady Anrissa Barone, interestingly enough. Um, so after we come from this area, there is this open hallway here that leads to more hallways. That leads to a closet here and a living room, a bathroom, and eventually a big bedroom, which I might end up giving to our future prince, eldest prince, which I think might be interesting. Or I might break this whole top area down into several rooms. Um, this is also kind of like the same situation: living room, bathroom, and another bedroom. And then like there's this whole open area upstairs, um, where they can come and walk around at. So there's a lot of room in this castle. Also, there's this area as well. Um, and I might end up breaking a lot of it down to like house multiple princes and princesses. Um, and there's also like this level too. So it's a big castle, and we have a lot of room to expand. I feel, and basically renovate. But it is still we still having the party going on. The emperor has not yet chosen his empress, but by 5 o'clock is when I will basically cut, and you guys will see him dance with his chosen empress. But he's steady talking to this circle of women right here. Serena and Rissa and Anya, the Princess Anya Drahar. It looks like even maybe Rohan here. What is this? Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. The story is so juicy already. Oh my god. So Emperor Abel, guys, he wants to ask Saris to be his lover. I think that is what this basically means. He wants Saris to be his lover. He's at this ball about to pick his future empress, but he's thinking about Saris right now. That is so interesting. He wants to kiss someone though, which is interesting. What does Vlad want to do? discuss favorite band. Let's just get him to do that right now, maybe with the Emperor himself. So let's see. Um, Deep thoughts. Discuss favorite band, but um, but guys, with this particular want, I probably will not do it this introduction video or this maybe episode. I'm debating if I'm going to make this like a first episode or an introduction video, but I won't do it. I'm gonna leave it off as a cliffhanger essentially. So that is so interesting, guys. Like this is crazy. Like this is already happening, like drama, and I haven't even officially began a series. But he wants to make Lord Saras his lover, guys. And the question is, will Saras accept becoming the lover to the Emperor? Is the question. Will he get a wife? We have to also see if he will have a wife as well. But um, I will have to get certain lords married as well, and those marriages will happen off screen. She can be mystical if she so chooses to. Those marriages will happen off screen, and things of that nature. So he's really, guys, talking to Anarissa, which I think means he doesn't have any friends right now, but he's definitely considering Anarissa to be his empress, it looks like. She's not from his. Oh, she hates children. Interesting. So she might not be a very loving mother. That's interesting. I guess we can go over their traits here. So Anrissa is paranoid, a geek, hates children, and we just recently found out she's going to be mystical. Serena is a bookworm, loyal, and ambitious. Anya is a party animal, insecure and disruptive. Rohan is clumsy, self-absorbed, and a loner. Rhonda is a goofball, loves the outdoors, and is a perfectionist. Adeline is an art lover, paranoid, and a geek. Katarina is a music lover, materialistic, and family oriented. And Victoria is a snob, a perfectionist, and an overachiever. A Sarah, jealous, proper, and neat. So that is our ladies, it looks like. Those are their traits. And he's continuing talking to Lady Anarissa, guys. Oh, we might have our first empress be Anarissa. That would be interesting, Miss Anarissa Barone. Um, but I don't even know if I showed you guys his last name, but his name is of course Emperor Abel Foy. So I decided to give him a very French name because I thought it was a little cool to do that. He's outgoing, proper, and gloomy. So our emperor is not a very happy man. He's a very depressed man, and as you guys can see in the backstory, he relies on a lot of his counsel from his from the dark priest. Um, he's very reliant on his counselors or his priest advice, and he cherishes it very much. Um, and the dark priest was the reason why this whole federation formed, because he advised Emperor Abel to do it, and Abel conquered several of the vampiric countries and made it into a federation here. So I find that very, very interesting that he relied a lot on his wisdom from religion, basically, from essentially his priests. If you guys didn't notice from the story, the vampires worship the Grim Reaper, who they call the Dark One. They don't call him the Grim Reaper. They call him the Dark One. Uh, they very much believe in the Dark One and his gifts, and they believe in death, essentially. They're very dark creatures, so obviously death would be a part of that. But they believe in essentially giving basically offerings to the Dark One, which is like death, killing people. So that will be an aspect that I will introduce with the hunters, guys. We will discuss certain things. Offerings will be given to the Dark One. And the most biggest offering they will ever give the Dark One is, of course, the fire tribute. When, of course, all of the first, second generation children have come of age and they fight for Emperor Abel's crown, the fire tribute will commence, which will be the greatest offering they can give the Dark One. It's all based in religion, guys. Abel is a bit of a religious fanatic. He is a bit of a religious fanatic, guys, but you know, hey, that is how the cookie has crumbled for him. Um, he really likes Anrissa, guys. So I definitely think Miss Anrissa here will end up becoming the Empress. That's what it's looking like. Oh my God, it's 5. So it's time, guys. I have to actually see who will be our Empress. So I'm going to come right back, and when I do come back, guys, we are going to go ahead and see who the Emperor is going to have his first dance with. So I'll see you guys in a bit. So, guys, by the end of the ball, Emperor Abel has chosen Rohan Valar to be his empress, giving her the first dance and only dance of the ball. So, guys, this was very much like a tough race between the ladies because a lot of them actually, they actually, well, not all of them, but I'm gonna say 3 ladies in particular were very much in the lead. I'm gonna get him to slow dance with her again. So, Lady Rohan, guys, will be the Empress. So it definitely does look like, guys, the Emperor wants someone who is not too powerful to be his Empress, someone who will not challenge his crown. And so he's going to one of the lower houses, one of the ducal families, to basically find out who his Empress is going to be. So somebody who was right behind Rohan obviously was Lady Anrissa. She, well, we're gonna start off with Anrissa. So Anrissa started off with a 12 point relationship uh, with Abel, but she gained 22 points, giving her 34. So Anrissa was definitely in first place because she gained 22 points with the Emperor. Then we had Anrissa, guys, who had a 20 relationship starting off with the Emperor, but gained 21 points. So she was very, very close to becoming the Emperor, guys, which I was totally expecting her to be. I was very surprised when Rohan here ended up basically becoming the Empress. I wonder if the relationship, so it went up by 1 point when I'm guessing it's because they are dancing now. Hers went up by 1 point as well because they're dancing now. But yeah, like she was very close to becoming the Empress, guys. But Rohan won. The person in third place ended up being Rhonda. Um, where is Rhonda? No, it wasn't Rhonda. It was Serena. Serena started off with 8 points. So it could have been Lord Saras's sister who ended up becoming the Empress, guys. Another lady of a ducal family, but she started off with 8 points and then gained 18 plus and ended up with 26. So she had an 18 plus relationship. Like she ended up getting 18 points from this whole ball. So she very much could have become the Empress. She was in third place, and the person that was in fourth place was Rhonda, the other twin to Rohan, her twin sister Rhonda. Where is Rhonda actually? Rhonda, oh, she's over here playing Don't Wake the Llama, but this is Rhonda here. So this is the twin sister to Lady Rohan. But she had a 7 starting off with the Emperor, but she gained 16 points and then up with a 23 relationship with him. Everyone else did not have a very high relationship with him except for Anya. Anya had a 7-1 and she gained 12, so she would have been like in fifth place to becoming the emperor. So he was considering one of the princesses to become an empress next to him. Um, but uh, he obviously was looking more at the lower ladies, though the ladies instead of the princesses. But Anya was definitely a choice he was considering to become an empress. Um, but he definitely, whereas Princess Victoria was nowhere on his radar, is what I'm going to say, guys. Victoria had like a 3 plus, and Katarina had 7, but out of all of the princesses, definitely, he was considering, Princess Anya over definitely Victoria and over Princess Katarina. Huh, it's kind of sad though, because I was hoping that one of the princesses would become empress, but the emperor wanted to go a more safer route. He wanted to go into a route where he had the control in a situation. So he's going for a Valar lady, Lady Rohan here, and She is going to be our empress, guys. Now, if I do continue this as a series, the next episode will be basically be about us crowning Rohan as empress alongside the emperor here, and of course, getting them to try for their first child. But yes, guys. It's going to be interesting to see how their marriage will blossom and if the emperor will have many children with his wife, if their children will die, if they will survive. But this is going to be our next empress. Get a good look at her, guys. She's very pretty, in my opinion. And she has similar eyes to her husband, but she has this golden hair that could get passed on to their children that runs within the Valar family. So anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and end our episode off here, or our introduction video off here. Um, and tell me, guys, what you think, and if you guys are interested in making this a series. If not, then I won't. But this is the beginning of the empire. If it won't become a series, guys, I might do something where I'll like check in every now and then, and basically I will give you updates on what's going on within the empire. But as for right now, my name is Rona the Simmer, guys, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.